Well, now it's cool enough to actually think in the UK after this Europe heat wave. It's time for another video. I hope everyone's fared alright with it. It's pretty intense. And hopefully, hopefully there's no more this year. There's been two. I was moving out of my uni house for half of this week, and my room there was disgustingly hot. So I'm glad to be back home and all finished. And that's also why it has been a little bit longer between videos than I wanted. But I might talk about sort of my experience at uni. I was planning on doing it. I've just finished studying music, just graduated. Well, graduate next month, but I know what I've got. So yeah, figured I'd talk about that. Why not? Gives me maybe some more credibility to be talking about music. So yeah, but today, Deftones, Private Music, their first album in 5 years since Ohms. It came out last year. I think last year. I wrote these notes like about a week ago, so literally straight after my last video. It came out last year, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, their first album 5 years since Ohms, and is their longest gap between albums, I think. And it features the producer Nick Raskulinecz, I think is how you pronounce it. But he worked on Diamond Eyes and Koi no Yokam, which are two fabulous albums by Deftones. So he's come back to produce this album, and there's a lot of similarities. You can pick up on a lot of similarities just even in the songwriting. But yeah, this is also the first one without Sergio Vega, who left in 2021. And there's Fred Sablon on bass, who was touring with them for a bit, and then he's been involved with the recording of this album. Obviously, Sergio Vega came in after Chi Chang, the original bassist, tragically died in a car accident. And I don't think he died he did die as a result of it. He was in a coma for a few years after, I think, literally a few years, and then died due to complications because of it. But Fred Sablon, who's brilliant, he's really good in their live shows, and he's really good in this. And then obviously Chino Moreno on vocals and guitar, Stephen Carpenter guitar, Frank Delgado on keys and samples, who's also the touring, and Abe Cunningham on drums. And so Private Music, I obviously enjoy it. I have the vinyl. This isn't just superimposed, although I will do for the thumbnail. It's the only Deftones album I have on vinyl. I could have so many, but this one's just, I don't know, it's really, really special. It kind of got me back into the band. I was a fan of them before it came out. And then I think it was as a result of their like massive boom in popularity they had a few years ago. There was so much hype surrounding this, and it definitely lived up to expectations. If the Cure's Return album didn't live up to expectations, this one, kind of smashed it out of the water. And even though 5 years is a perfectly normal time between albums, but they're getting on now. In many ways, I think this is potentially their last album. I'll get to why, as like this kind of mentions it in some of the songs, but it would be a good one to end it off on, to be honest. And so with that, I'm going to go straight into the first song, which is "My Mind Is a Mountain," which was one of the singles for it, and it's straight into it. It's a big, loud opening, like loud guitar stabs and like little fills on the drums, and yeah, they're kind of talking about their return. It's as if they've been waiting to come back. Chino says, "We've been waiting here patiently, like biding their time. Now we sail," and it's really cool. There's like a 6/8 bridge section as well, in terms of a 6/8 bridge that sounds really cool, and there's also a lot of kind of gazy, like shoegazy, not really it's kind of, yeah, I guess more sort of atmospheric rock. It's very grungy, but there's a lot of moments in this album where there's they kind of let the space, which they have done before. Obviously, they do it really well. They like the long openings and stuff. And yeah, they're kind of talking about they've been biding their time, maybe waiting to return with this album. And Chino says about like negative space and doing things right now. They've been locked in this stage, plotting their time. Also, talking about doing things right, it kind of talks about his sobriety as well, I think, like literally straight out the bat. It kind of links to the title as well. My mind is a mountain. It's like, something to conquer and get over. But there's kind of all these themes of like they've been waiting to come back, and like now they're here, like a big hard opening. And it's cool. It's a good song. It's a good opener. Locked Club kind of continues that. It says things like stepping out the gate, join our parade, symbolizing the truth we exist. They're kind of talking about like, it's a movement, it's or a club, and like, if you're not going to join it, like what, you're not going to join it, I don't know. They're not going to wait around. And there's kind of some like genty rhythms going on in the verse, which is cool. And it's very well composed on a band level. It definitely seems like there's a lot of, they're locked in, Locked Club. They're locked in throughout this whole thing. All the instrumentation is like really, really cool, which is cool to see them do even 30 years into their career. Yeah, he's saying in love with the calm and chaos. So, they're kind of embracing what grunge was when it first came out. It's like this movement, and it's not going to wait around for anyone. Ecdysis, I'm not too sure. That translates to shedding old skin, which relates to snakes. And it kind of talks about like starting anew. And this, much like shed their skin for like the new one. I don't know fully how, but they like shed the old skin so that it's all nice and smooth. I don't know, snakes. But yeah, it's the bass line in this that opens it up. It kind of sounds like a Korn one. The tone of it, definitely. And like very around the fur sort of vibes on this song. Talk about inside these waves, the flames alive, keep our audience. Spiraling entirely again. A lot of sort of like drones and vocal ambience. Yeah, they're talking about, starting anew. This is like maybe a new chapter for the band. Obviously, they've been touring for over a year now, it seems. Which is, it's impressive to be doing that at this far into the career. Infinite Source I believe was another single and was my favourite for a while. It's got this cool like kind of pinch harmonic guitar line. Definitely like some cool sounds going on with it. And it feels like a farewell song, which relates back to me saying like maybe it's their final project. But it's saying like hold me tight, one last time, adorning the stage, raise a glass, here's for the years, final wave and bow. It literally just sounds like they're saying goodbye to the stage and performing. There has been nothing announced regarding if they're retiring. I feel like they'll just keep going, to be honest, but as terms of like a final project, this seems pretty final. The post-chorus has some like really cool vocal chops from Chino. He's like his like just kind of melodically singing. I don't know, it feels like he's not really done that too much. That feels sort of new with this album, which is really cool. He sounds like great considering they've been, it can, people's singers' voices can like deteriorate with age, but definitely got better. It's really impressive. But yeah, outro is similar to like Koinoyokan's plane going over. And like, yeah, just this like long sort of ambient, and you know, it's the same producer, so I'm guessing maybe he proposed to bring these ideas back. Souvenir is a very cool song, and he's kind of talking about translucent walls you've made crumble down again. In time we unite again. It's about being like drawn to someone, no matter what. Like, keep warm here beside me, holding you tightly. Which, you know, he loves talking about, like, oh, hold you tight and all that. Like, half the songs on Diamond Eyes are, you know, he talks about, you know, being close to someone, which is sweet. The chorus has like a key change, which sounds like weirdly optimistic but kind of dark. There's this kind of, yeah, like a dark feeling to this song, but it is optimistic in the lyrics, or like it's like kind of love song sort of thing. Which, you know, Souvenir, maybe it's like a memory of but maybe he's talking about memories, not like a current sort of relationship. And they like keep bringing back the riffs at the start and stuff in this song that kind of add this cool texture and like give these cool transition bits, and the drum lines are really cool. He's like playing around the kit in as like the groove. It's really cool. Yeah, as I say, they're so like locked down on this album. It's great. And this song has like a few minutes of like a long sort of synth passage, which they kind of play around with like ambient sort of synth stuff, but it felt kind of out of place, to be honest, but it sounds really cool, and that transitions into the next song, which is CXZ, or CXZ. I don't know what that stands for, but yeah, so transitions into it, and this picks up the pace again, and it's kind of almost thrashy in a way. Very hard-hitting song. He's talking about like time and how they're maybe running out of time. Lyrics like constant zeros from a void, recurring events reappear, one is correct way out of time, one is lost, one is there. So he's kind of like ambiguous what he's talking about, but it's like they're running out. Well, yeah, they're running out of time. Like, they're getting old. There's not long for this. It's kind of aggressive in that way. It's almost a frustration, which is like, you know, why it's a sort of more thrashy. Yeah, CXZ is more like a sort of a hard hitting like banger, it seems. I Think About You All the Time. The next song is. This is the one. This is the one. Like, you know, listen to this song. It's probably one of their most like beautiful songs. They have loads of just like really sweet and just amazing songs. But this is a standout. And it's actually a tribute to the late bassist Chi Cheng. And also just sort of like a general love song too. But like, he repeats, all of my life you've been the same, all our days and we'll never change. And like, wrapped in your calm, again, like holding someone, riding your wave with your arms over my head. It's about, yeah, just being close to someone, kind of enjoying your time with them. So yeah, really beautiful song. Probably the best one on there. Probably one of their best songs, full stop. And genuinely just one of the most like gorgeous songs. There's like jangly guitars that they bring in when the chorus is back, and it just like, it's repetitive but in a good way, because they just like keep building off it, and it like builds up and up and up and then cuts out, and there's, yeah, the guitar riff like all sort of like calm now. It's really cool. Milk of the Madonna, the next song, another very good one. This one has a lot of religious imagery, which some of it I picked up on, but also I like researched it a bit, and it is just full of like religious imagery. Like bloody rain, Holy Ghost, I'm on fire. I'm not gonna assume what it was, but you can look it up. It's pretty interesting, but it works cool as a song. Like, it's a very hard hitting song. This. It's got a beautiful like middle eight section in there that kind of gives some space from that as well. And Chino isn't religious, I looked, but he is kind of agnostic, so maybe he's talking about like the power of religion, and I don't know, I feel like people that sort of go through drug abuse and everything have like some form of enlightenment to do with religion, and he obviously has struggled with drug problems, so maybe he's talking about finding sort of purpose through religion, maybe, you never know. Cut Hands, the next song. Chino, it's kind of talking about, there's like a lot of modern terms in this and like internet terms, and it seems as if he's like almost annoyed with his publicity in a way. Says like, let me throw you with an update, F you, okay. No pulling me out of my grace, hack me up, cut me up. Like maybe he's talking about online hate sort of thing. Like dead Vine, there's no one online. He's just kind of annoyed that he's like so public still, maybe as a result of them blowing up again a few years ago, and people sort of commenting about them online. He's not happy about that. And then it finishes with like this heavy as hell breakdown, which is like pretty damn sick. Very much like is it Rosemary off Koi no Yokan? I think, or Entombed. Very similar breakdown to either of those, but yeah, really cool. Next song, Tilde, Metal Dream. Tilde, the little like squiggle. I don't know why they have it stylized like that. There's kind of lots of talking about like maybe like reminiscing of the past and what you had. He's talking about Gown and Jewels, Velvet Tomb, Gold Drenched Days. I'm deeply enthralled in your gaze. And maybe it's like the value of someone, but also the value of the like career that they've had. Like Jewels, Velvet, and sort of very premium things. So yeah, it could be celebrating on their success or reflecting on it, but also, he's also talking about I sink into your chest, deeply enthralled in your gaze, together forever, imperfect pose. Maybe it's like talking about the person he's with and like putting them on a pedestal. And the together forever in a perfect pose thing remind me of Nosferatu. The last shot of that. I'm not gonna show it because it's pretty grim. It's a very beautiful shot, but it's like bit sort of gory, I guess. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like if you've seen that film, you kind of get what I mean about that. But again, heavy bass line in this, which is really cool, very very Korn sounding, and there's like stabs in the guitar riffs, which they seem to do a lot of. I think that's why it sounds so tight. They have like these stabs as part of the riffs, or like his transition bits, and they're all like, they got to be on the money. It's really, really cool. And they hit it every time live, obviously, if you've seen any live shows that they've done this past year. And that brings to the last song, Departing the Body, which has a kind of Diamond Eyes-esque like intro, very long and like ambient, atmospheric sort of thing. And Chino actually uses his like chest voice for this, like it's his just normal sort of speaking voice, with no effects. And it's it's weird to hear him like just use that voice. And again, this song's kind of like enigmatic, but I think I have sort of potentially know what he's on about. But there's lyrics that are like, there's a room we hang in, space clear, cold, enchanted by what lies awaits our future. So it's talking about like obviously future with someone and like dreaming together and being excited for said future, and enchanted in our eyes, like they're looking at each other's eyes. But the like riff and everything's like kind of dark sounding, which maybe suggests like a nervousness to do with this excitement and the future, which is only natural. And then it kind of like repeats or like iterations of those lines, and then has in a room we end in, it's clean, and then like a instrumental break sort of thing, and then like slaps back in. And I kind of thought, like, with departing the body, it's I don't know, it sounds kind of crude, but maybe he's talking about like having a kid. Like, what future is there with someone, like, you know, the ultimate future with someone is having a kid, and like in the room they end up in, it's clean. That's like a hospital room. But he could also be talking about death and like the soul departing the body. Chino does have kids. I think he has a daughter with his current partner, who isn't known. Like, he keeps her out of the. I mean, Chino generally keeps out of the like public sort of sphere, I guess, which is maybe why he's so frustrated in Cut Hands. But yeah, he has 2 kids that are like known with a previous wife who he divorced, and then he has a daughter who I don't even think her name is known, with his current partner, who's been with since I think like 10 years now or something. So yeah, maybe, you know, it's a tribute to his daughter, and like seeing her grow up, and yeah, but also soul leaving the body, departing the body also makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, it's it's a very good like album. It's full of like bangers. Definitely has like a distinct sound. I feel like every Deftones album has its own sound. This one feels like an amalgamation of a lot of their previous ones, and again, they're like looking back on their career, and it's their like return to form of doing live shows and touring like extensively. And yeah, really cool projects that like I feel like everyone was expecting to come out, but definitely it lived up to the hype. Yeah, so this was this was a pretty messy one. I just wanted to get it out there. As I say, I've been super busy, but now I'm like back, pretty chilled out. No more university, which is very sad. But yeah, and this will be the main setting again. So I will be able to have the vinyls of albums that I have and all that, as a prop, I suppose. But yeah, I've got a few more planned of very recent albums. One or two, actually maybe 3. Yeah, two of which, all 3 of them came out this year. 2 of which you might know that I probably will. And then another I found literally yesterday, which is very cool. It's a French trumpet player. He's the main guy, and I'll leave it at that. It's very cool though. So yeah, that's it.